Today Africa Podcast is a podcast series where we interview African entrepreneurs and professionals and share the stories behind their businesses. In each interview, we ask how they got started, how they grew, and how they run their business today. The stories are inspiring and also provide specific advice and insight into starting a business. By sharing these stories, we want to help others get started.
Welcome to Today Africa, where we'll bring you our inspiring conversation with individuals shaping the future of the continent. And joining me is Habeeb Lawal. He is the founder of Gasfeel, a tech-enabled food delivery platform. Habeeb, you are welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Emeka. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Okay. Please, could you tell us about yourself? Who is Habeeb?
He is someone that has a knack for problem solving and, let's say, creativity, like a lot of creativity. I feel like Habeeb is someone that does not ignore most things that everybody else ignore, right? When others are complaining, Habeeb is seeing profit, right? Habeeb is seeing solution. Habeeb is seeing something he can actually monetize. Yeah, that's the kind of person Habeeb is. Habeeb is entrepreneurial.
What inspired you into starting Gasfeel? A lot of people are going into fintech, agri-tech, tech. So why Gasfeel, and what's the inspiration behind it?
So here's the thing. Even before Gasfeel started, I had actually I've attempted many other startups in the past, right? Like, as that naive person that is just trying to get into entrepreneurship, like, I've always wanted to build my own company. That's like the naive drive. That used to be the drive, right? Regardless of, I didn't really know how it's done, but I knew I wanted to do it, right? So I also made sure I was like educating the people around me about the fact that not everything, like, it's not, you don't have to get a job to survive, right? There is a way the biggest people in the world are doing it. It's called business, right? And there are 3 steps to it. You just you identify a problem, you create a solution, and you monetize your solution, right? Now, there was a day that I was explaining this to a set of people, my friends, right? And I just wanted to give them an instance of the problems that are being faced that we are facing in society, right? And then I somehow just got to the point where I was thinking, okay, look, for instance, like every other industry in Nigeria, almost every other industry has been digitized, right? We now buy our food online, for instance. We now, get groceries online. We even call people to come and wash our cars online, right? Laundry online, everything is almost done online. But then look at that girl going like there, like over there. She's still carrying cylinder. Do you get, like, which one is easier to do, ordering your food online or actually buying your gas online? Like, no, which one is easier? Like, which one is harder to do? Buying gas, like, at the station where you have to carry the heavy cylinder, line up at the station, do a whole lot of things, probably even fight for line at the station even to get your gas, right? Or just buy it online. Which one is, like, do you get? So that was like where the whole thing started, and I started implementing it that same day. What started as an example for explaining to my friends that, okay, you can do this thing this way, like, this is how to actually build a business, was like, what I just thought of now could actually be like a really big business. Then I made research about the industry, and I saw that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry actually, even if we are focusing on just Nigeria. But it's a continent-wide problem, right? We have, like, in other continents, we could say things like, okay, their cooking gas is like piped to their kitchen and things like that, but we can't really do that here, or we don't have that here, right? And it's even too late to start implementing that. So we created Gasfeel. That's how Gasfeel was born, basically, with the drive to solve that one problem of digitizing the oil and gas industry. Now we have Gasfeel, a platform that that helps people get cooking gas and petrol online, especially the petrol part. It is novel, it is new, right? So it is something people are finding interesting. When we hand out our flyers to customers, they are like surprised. So you guys order petrol online, like what do you get? So it's not something they're expecting to see like anytime or anytime soon. And now we have that, which is something unique, different, and is not the same as the fintech you mentioned earlier, where we know that story.
Let's talk about your co-founder.
Okay.
How did you meet your co-founder, and what convinced you that he was the right person to go on this journey with?
Okay. So I said earlier that the moment I got the idea of Gasfeel, right? I
Yeah.
started implementing it immediately. So this guy is the first person I actually told about it, right? I didn't even go home immediately. I went straight to him, right? And I told him, okay, let's do this thing, right? By the way, the idea we started with is not the idea that actually went live. I mean, it's the same product, the same idea, but not in the same method, right? The way we planned to do it from the start was so naive. We just wanted to get going. We just wanted to start, that we didn't really have like much plan. But the fact that I came to him, I told him about it, and immediately we got out. Like immediately we started implementing it. We went out. We went to these gas shops that are outside, and we spoke to the woman immediately that okay, we want to be helping you deliver online. Now we are delivering, we are helping gas stations and petrol stations sell online. But before, we wanted
Yeah.
to help these gas shops, those that are selling on the street, sell, right? So we went to this woman and immediately we interviewed her. We asked her questions about the industry. How much do you actually sell in a day? You know, and I feel like that kind of drive to like that kind of enthusiasm about what we are trying to build is enough in its own, right? But then he not only had that, he also has this entrepreneurial instinct. He's the type of guy that we share, books together. He shares books, I share mine, and then we just make sure we finish the books and then move on to the next and to the next. So we are, he's disciplined, right? He's dedicated, and above everything else, like skill sets and things like that. I feel like those are the foundation. Like that's like the main foundation of what we need to look out for. It is more about the person, right, than what the person can do. You can learn to do other things on the job, but you can't learn to be enthusiastic. You can't learn to be dedicated, right? You can't learn to be disciplined. So yeah, that was the main reason why I picked him, right? Because I feel like he has as much drive as I do, and since we've been running this, we've not actually had any issue whatsoever. But then, speaking of skill set, he's very very like ideative, and he's someone that you can bounce ideas off of. Like he's not small minded. Let me put it that way, because when you share these ideas with like most people out there, they would either tell you it can't work, or look, just think of something else. You can't do this, right? So he has the big mindset, right? And he's also someone that is like okay, very good in actually optimizing operations. Our day-to-day operations is the ones that is actually saying, okay, this is how we should do this. This is how we should do this. So yeah, is that kind of person, and that's why we're like on this together.
Talked about the inspiration behind it, how you met your co-founder, and what convinced you that he was the right person to go on this journey. So, what were the challenges that you faced in the beginning, and how did you people overcome them?
The first challenge was actually funding, right? I mean, um, let me just take you on a journey through like how the idea actually evolved, right? We started as we wanted to you know have our own trucks from the start. Like we wanted to have our own trucks that would have dispensers attached to them, and then we'll be taking the trucks around and delivering, like dispensing at people's doorstep, right? We wanted to have a device for people to be able to measure their gas level, so we would know exactly when their gas is running out, and we would remind them. and deliver to them immediately. Do you get? And we wanted to do that for businesses. We wanted to do a whole lot of other things, and that was like something that required like so much assets for people like that. That was too big a dream for people that are just starting and have close to nothing in the bank, right? In terms of funding, and it was challenging to be able to raise funds with that kind of dream, right? That kind of plan, right? We had that kind of plan with zero traction. We had the plan that okay, we were going to buy trucks. Okay, how much is a Capstar truck? How much is three? How much is four? How much do we like actually mount it? Okay, this device for people to measure their gas level. How much do we get it done? Like how many people do we need to hire? Do you get? So all of those things were like really really capital intensive, right? And it was challenging for us to find someone that would um, invest in something like that. It was so hard. It was so hard. We didn't have traction. We didn't have something tangible, but we just knew we had the vision, and that made it hard. And we were so frustrated because we didn't understand why. I mean, we are seeing people online raising $1 million, right? With no product yet, with just the landing page. I mean, we had our landing page. We actually got it done, even though we didn't have money. Right? We got the landing page. We created the website, but we felt like that was enough traction. I mean, that's what we see on YC, right? Sometimes it's not like not everybody had like that crazy traction, but they were still raising funds with the vision. But yeah, reality had to set in, and I think that challenge actually made us better in the sense that we became resourceful. We became resourceful in the sense that we started thinking of other ways to achieve the same thing without spending money. Right? That's what even got us to the point where we are currently water based. Right? We're fully water based now, and we are like we have an AI agent, right, that is going to be taking the whole orders, relaying it to riders, doing all of those things. And the way the operation is so lean now, we don't even have our own bikes, we don't have our own gas plants, we don't have our own petrol stations, and we are delivering to customers in as fast as 5 minutes. That's how streamlined our operations has been, and we've barely spent. Let me not disclose the numbers, but we've not really spent much, and we were able to achieve this much. You understand? Meanwhile, what we were thinking about earlier would have cost us nothing less than $1 million to even go out there, right? And it even turns out that people don't need a device to know their gas level, right? And we wanted to build a device. People don't need. It's not the gas level that people need to know, right? We get lost in things like that, and we see competitors out there trying to build something, and they are not live yet. They are still stuck where we were when we just started. They are stuck trying to build a device. Meanwhile, the problem is not running out of gas unexpectedly. People just need to be reminded. They don't need to always know how much gas they have left. They just need to be reminded before the gas runs out, right? And that's what we were able to just solve with software without spending a dime on hardware, right? So I mean, we just had to go back to the foundation and know, okay, this is, and we would not have thought about that if we had access to that money from the start, right? So one of the things I've also learned is like money could, like too much money in the bank could derail a company like entirely.
All right. Then you have talked about the challenges and how the lack of fund,
Yeah.
made people to go back to the drawing board. But you said something that really caught my attention, which is people don't have your own riders, you don't have your own gas station, but you are delivering services to people. And I want to know how people are able to do it because how are you able to bring in the riders? How are you able to bring in the gas stations whereby Mr. A just reach out to you people, I need the gas, and the gas is being delivered to the person. So how do people actually do all this?
Yeah, yeah. So as we are talking right now, as I am on this call, there are at least five orders like going on the platform. Do you
Okay.
get? So I mean, our service is running, and the way we're able to do that is okay. It's the beauty of it is we have we're actually giving value to every single stakeholder, like every single person that has access to our platform. So basically, as you must have, like as you rightly said, we have riders, we have the stations, and we have the customers. And what we're doing is connecting them, right, in an asset light manner. We go to the gas station, we tell them, okay, you guys, do you know that we can help you guys deliver online without necessarily having to, build your own website or have your own bikes or hire new staffs, right? Most businesses have gone online now, right? Like we have restaurants going online, we have this, we have that. Like you guys can actually go online. You can sell to people that are outside of your environment, right? Like people that would naturally have access to you, especially when there is like not fuel in one particular station. We can actually bring those customers to you on that particular day, given that you have fuel, right? So that's like the value we are providing for them, right? And in return, they sell to us at a discounted rate. Do you get? So, and we also go to the rider. We tell them, we've seen you guys. We've seen that you guys, like there is so much competition. I mean, the commercial bike riders right now. I'm talking about the commercial bike riders. There are so many bike riders now that the number of sales each bike man is making per day is really really low. In fact, they would have to be going up and down just to find someone to carry, and they are wasting fuel in that, like they're wasting fuel that way. And even the profit that is not there before, they are like even reducing their profit margin that way. So we tell them, we can actually get you sales, right? All we just need you to do is be able to read and write, and you should have a smartphone, so you should have access to WhatsApp. And yeah, and we need you to be dedicated to our service. Like anytime we call you, we need you to respond immediately, right? And yeah, and we go to the customer to tell them, you guys no longer have to go to the station to queue, or like, is it not embarrassing to be carrying cylinder along the street? Are you not even tired? I mean, you carry your cylinder around the street and you'll be hiding because you don't want your office people to see you, right? Like carrying cylinder up and down. So we can save you that embarrassment, and we can deliver to you as fast as 5 minutes. I mean, I was shocked when I was checking our database, our spreadsheet, and I was seeing orders being delivered in 5 to 10 minutes, right? Because the rider is making his money, right? And he knows that if he does not accept the order on time, someone else we will take the order from him, right? And the stations already know when an order comes in, so they've already like sold the petrol even before the rider arrives, and immediately the rider picks up and he delivers. Like, and we are using the nearest gas plant, the nearest rider to you to fulfill your orders. So it is as it is superb, it is sweet, and it's beautiful to see how it evolved from you know an idea to buy trucks. I mean, gas trucks, right? And pumps and all of those, right? To something so simple. Like it made me realize that there are like there are multiple ways to actually solve the same problem, just like a polynomial equation in math, right? There are you identify a problem in business, right? There are many ways you can solve that same problem, and the company with the best solution, right, wins. That's it. Basically, you have to be faster, cheaper. Even now that we're actually like starting new, we don't have competitors. Even when the competitors come, we still have, then they have to be faster, they have to be cheaper, they have to be better, right? Which I don't think they stand a chance in this field, because I mean, we've been able to crack all of that thanks to lack of funding.
What people are doing is mind blowing. So I'm asking a lot of curious questions. Is it that the riders come to the customer's house and carry the gas cylinder, or the riders move straight to the gas station and carry the filled gas cylinder to the right and carry the empty one.
So here's the thing. We, we started, basically, let me just tell you how it's currently running and how we plan to run it in the future, right, as we grow. So right now, if you are placing an order for petrol, it's a one-way thing. The rider just goes to the station, picks up the keg. We have our own kegs. They just pick up the keg that contains your fuel and take it to you and take back the keg to the station, right? But if you are ordering for cooking gas, we come to your place, we pick up your cylinder, we take it to the nearest gas plant, the nearest one, for speed. Because we already have partnership with that station, and we fill up your gas there and we bring it back to you. And it literally takes less than 15 minutes. So when you're placing orders for cooking gas, it takes an average of 13 minutes. And if you're placing order for petrol, it takes an average of 7 minutes. So that's how fast we are. And I mean, I buy food online every time, right? And my food gets delivered literally in 20 to 45 minutes. So it's amazing to see that, okay, something that people would usually take a bike, you first actually have to decide who among us is going to go and buy petrol, right? That's some time wasted. And then you take your bike, you go outside, you first trek to the bus stop, take a bike, right, to the station, first queue at the station. And the pump attendants have this habit of, first answering the entire world, like the whole planet, before answering you, right? Even though you got there first, you have that one. And we also have the whole, maybe you want to transfer your money. Oh, they have not seen your money. Can you go? You have to wait till they see the transfer before you leave, right? Or even wait for your change. It's crazy. Let me just put it that way. It's like a lot. It is hard, and it is just mind blowing to just hear that, to just see that there are so much like local problems that we're facing in this country, and we have entrepreneurs trying to solve international problems. I'm not saying those are hard, those are bad, right? But there are people already solving that. Like there are people in that market already, right? And you're not trying to make it like a lot better. You can't just make something that is a little better and expect to make a difference, right? It has to be like really, really like different, like cheaper, faster, better, and all of that. But that's like something I feel like our entrepreneurs should start looking into, right? Local problems that we are facing.
Why the name Gasfeel? Why did we choose the name Gasfeel?
When we started, we were going with the name Easily, and the Easily was spelled EEXILY, simply because we were, trying to get a domain name that would be cheaper and still get people to pronounce the word easy. Like it's easily done. You can easily get this done. You can easily do this. You can easily do that. And that would have made like a nice branding, right? But yeah, we had issues with the CAC because they didn't approve it when we wanted to register the business. So we had to think of another name, and the person, the lawyer that was like, okay, working on it, just called me that, okay, the name you provided is like taken. And then I was like in the middle of something. I was too busy, right, to even like actually respond to her. And she was like, okay, what about Gasfeel? Like Gasfeel with FILL, right? I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I mean, I'm not here to sell like a commodity. So I want to sell a feeling. So let's just put FEEL instead. They like Gasfeel. And yeah, it's that simple, it's that basic, right? Like just because we want to sell a movement instead of we don't want, when you think about Gasfeel, we don't want you to think about just gas and petrol. We want you to think about like a movement.
Let's talk about the economy. We are currently the economy of Nigeria is not that great, and is fluctuating. So how has the economy of the country affected Gasfeel?
Let's first talk about the fluctuating prices of petrol, right, and cooking gas. So we we are the ones the customers see, right? And when we tell them, okay, this is the price of gas today, and tomorrow we are telling them it's another price. Sometimes it's basically like it turns down customers, like it turns them off. And you know, how do I put this? It brings about. I mean, we lose customers, right, because of these things, right? But it's not like these customers eventually come back when they see that, oh, the old life is not the way, right? But then they still see, okay, they want to confirm if, okay, the price we are telling them now is like maybe, what it actually is, or we are the ones that are actually just increasing prices, right? Because once we are in the middle now, they don't know what's going on at the station again. Like it is on us, right? They don't care what the station price is. They don't care about that. They just want to buy from Gasfeel. And yeah, what else? Yeah, I would say when we ask customers to pay for delivery as well, right? The economy has made people, very, very like this. They don't want to spend money on anything, even though you are like providing service for them. They literally want you to deliver for free, right? And we've been able to we've been able to solve that in some ways, because we don't also want to ignore what the customers are saying completely, right? We have to make money. That's why a business exists. But at the same time, we are trying to also, because most this problem is more psychological than it is like logical, right? What they are, for instance, now, if you're selling clothes, right, and your clothes normally should cost 2.5, right, and you call it 3.5 plus free delivery, do you get? The customer still, like, psychologically, the customer feels like, okay, they've gotten something like for free, even though the economy is bad. They still feel like, oh, they've gotten something, right? So that is how we've been able to say, okay, solve that problem. But then it is still hurting we're not making as much as we should be, simply because you know people, like, the purchasing power is like not there. It's not there. And the same thing with fundraising. We are not able to raise funds from Nigerian investors like as much, because they would be like, okay, um this just happened, that just happened, I invested here, I invested there, it is my portfolio is this and that. Do you understand? So I mean, even the riders are going to tell you the price you're paying me for this particular order, right? The fuel, I got fuel for this price and that, right? So we have to make sure we are paying the riders as much as possible. Meanwhile, the customer does not want to pay for the delivery. Do you get? And the business has to make money somehow in the middle of that. So it is making it hard for us to balance our pricing, right? Because we just there is so much to put into consideration. Yeah.
What strategies have worked in attracting and retaining customers?
Free delivery. Yeah, that's so I would not just that, actually. Um it is the speed, right? I'll say speed, pricing, like the speed, the free delivery, and the novelty, right? The fact that it is something they've not seen before, right? Is like, it's something they are just hearing about and they just want to try it out, right? And yeah, those are the strategies. And we have a strategy that we're using. It's called the virality effect, right? Where every single customer that buys on our platform, immediately we deliver to them, there is a graphics that gets also automatically sent to them that carries their name, the time we deliver to them, right? So it can be something like, the headline could be, soft life presido. Do you get? Emeka, your gas was delivered in just 10 minutes. While other people are still dragging cylinders up and down, you two get level. Do you get? Something like that? And there's an avatar there. Do you understand? And there's the link to our website, to www.gasfeel.com, on the same graphics, right? But because these guys want to show off what they just did, right? They want to show off that they just got their gas delivered in just 10 minutes, right? And other people are still, getting their gas at the station, right? They want to show that off. So, they post it on their status and other people see it, and we get new customers checking, like visiting our website and checking in like that. And we also have, the pump attendants handing out our flyers. So the station is like letting people know that they now sell online, and that if you want to buy from them online, you can go on Gasfeel, right? So that the customer base the station already has is also being transferred to our platform. So we are getting customers from all angles, and we're getting different kinds of customers. We're getting the rich ones that don't even care what the delivery fee is. They just want to get their gas as fast as possible. And I'm glad we are not disappointing.
How is Gasfeel doing today? How is the business doing today? And what does the future look like?
Yeah. Gasfeel is actually doing like really, really well. I mean, if you check our website now, we started last year. We started April 20th last year, right? But we didn't go live. All of that time was spent trying to raise funds without traction, without any customer, without anything whatsoever. We were just, we must build this thing. We must actually get this thing live, right? So most of that time was wasted doing that. We wanted to build app at some point before we discovered, okay, people actually prefer just getting things done. Like everybody's on WhatsApp right now, right? We can actually get this thing done easier, like a lot faster, a lot better by just letting them do like place order for what they want on the same platform they already existing. Do you understand? And we can use an AI agent, which is like the next big thing, right? To get this done. So we wasted money, and time building app in the past. And I mean, we wanted to even build the device that I told you about to measure people's gas, right, in real time and tell them from the app and all of that. I mean, that would be a nice experience, no doubt. But then there are like several other methods we can achieve the same result without charging the customer for a dime, without even asking the customer to come and buy. Because if you want to get as many people to use the service as possible, you have to lower the barrier to entry. So that's one of the things I've also learned about this whole thing, which is like, you don't just think about what you are trying to achieve. You think about the customer in every step of the way. So that, in a nutshell, was like what the whole of last year was spent on. And we went live this year, right? January, around the 15th of January. And month after month after month, our revenue is more than doubling. It is more than doubling, right? I was surprised when in the first few weeks without even marketing, we had not even started doing marketing at that point in time. We already raked in $1 million, right? I'm like, oh, really? And that was basically like, okay, majorly from petrol and less from cooking gas. Do you get? Because the frequency at which people are buying petrol is a lot more, and our electricity in Nigeria is also a thing.
What advice would you give to others who wants to start their business?
Okay, I would say look at problems that people are facing around you. Don't just look at businesses that are working out there and try to like replicate it, right? That's not like there are lots of opportunities in Nigeria that we are ignoring, right? So you as a Nigerian, you don't even need to start looking for jobs anymore. It is a lot easier to start a business now than it is to get a job. I will tell you that for a fact, right? So, and you don't need to start with the tech, right? Like, also, we think we need to build a website. We think we need to build all of those fancy things, build devices. Yes, those things are actually come, but they can come like after you've made sales, after you've validated that, okay, this market is something, there is actually traction, right? Then, okay, you can now spend your money, and you can even use that money that you got from testing, from the pilot program, from the testing, to even build those tech that you need to make your operations faster, which is like Right now, Gasfeel, for instance, is working on building its own dispensers, like miniaturized dispensers that we can use to just dispense the gas at your doorstep without, going back and forth. Okay, I mentioned you looking at problems people are facing around you and solving it without doing too much from the start. Just make sales first before building the tech, right? And what else? Yeah, I also think it is better to set a target than it is to actually make plans. Like, set your target and let the plan unfold by itself. If you're making plans, like business plans is the most useless thing there is, because Gasfield has pivoted before even going live at all. We've pivoted at least 100 times, and that's a fact. We've pivoted with different methods of doing things, different styles, different pricings, different this, different that, different areas that we decided to start from. Okay, let's start from this market, let's start from here, let's start from here, right? We've tested a whole lot of things, and the plan that I told you we had is the most useless plan ever now. Because the market is the one that actually gives you the plan. Like, the market teaches you what to do. So don't start writing business plan just like we did. Just start. Like, we got the idea the first day, and we're outside the first day talking to people already, right? We're already posting about it. We're already telling people, okay, we are building this, right? And we're putting it out there for people to see. I feel like people should not overthink in the early stages. Just go out there. Don't be too smart as well. Don't be too smart. Just do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah. And that's it. Right? That's it.
Today Africa Podcast is a podcast series where we interview African entrepreneurs and professionals and share the stories behind their businesses. In each interview, we ask how they got started, how they grew, and how they run their business today. The stories are inspiring and also provide specific advice and insight into starting a business. By sharing these stories, we want to help others get started.